Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, here's Bob's Leatherworks again. I'm Bob in Raleigh, North Carolina. What we've got here are two almost, but not completely, identical Mexican double loop rigs, and they are different from the first video I made, although they look similar, but I'm going to have to point out the difference to you. When I went to put these together on a test, because I had changed the distance between the loops, I discovered that I had tightened up the pattern, which was my intention. I wanted to make it more snug and look a little different and come in this area right here a little tighter, because I wanted to eliminate the need for the ledge, because it really wasn't correct traditional for a Mexican double loop holster. I had to really fight to get both of them in. And what happened was, even though they had dried for 2 or 3 days, the lining leather separated after I'd cut it, and the glue just couldn't take the pushing and the pulling, and the two pieces of leather separated. So I gave up and I sewed them all the way around, and now when I went to fight to get them back in again, they didn't slide apart, so it gives it a different look. And that's basically what's different about these two holsters as compared to the Mexican double loop video that's already posted, and you'll see the difference in the posting dates. Now, the other difference between the ones you were looking at, or the one you saw before, and these two, is that this is for a 5.5 inch gun, barrel wise. This is for the 4 5/8, my gun, that's this holster here. So what I'm trying to point out to you is that if you've got a 7.5, 5.5, or 4 5/8, I can make these holsters for you just with my gun, because from the cylinder area up through, they're all the same. I'm just going to be making it longer, and when you get your gun into it, it'll find its way into the holster. Since these are, of course, real leather and then oil dyed and finished with kiwi wax shoe polish, they're susceptible to heat, which is what's going to make them zero retention as time goes by. So if you find that right away you put your longer barreled gun in there, than a 4 5/8 that I would have trained the holster for, all you've got to do, if you don't have one already, is get yourself a 1250 watt hair dryer and fill it up with heat, and then push your gun into it. And then when you go out shooting, of course, your gun's going to be hot, and it'll do the same thing. And eventually what will happen is they'll go to zero retention. Now, let me pull this one out of here, because this is the 5.5 inch holster. This holster, I'm going to turn it around so you can get a different angle look at it. Okay, this is for my Uberti Peacemaker clone, and for a holster for 4 5/8. It's designed to go right in here, looking like this, and trigger guard goes right up under there, and there it is. By the way, I have moved my new and improved television studio out into my front room. I have better light out here. I have my open end of my sewing machine table. There's a monster sewing machine off to my right, and I can control all of this a lot better, and I think the lighting is much better too. So now you can see some details on this holster with better light that you might not have seen on previous videos I've made, and that way you get a better look. this is the simple way that I do a hammer thong, just using Latigo. Okay, this is your hold piece right here. Pull it onto the hammer. They're still wet, by the way. That's why they look kind of limp. And then you drag her down there. And when you get them, if they're too long for you, just trim them off to your liking. There's no need to have it all this long if you don't want it. Just use a scissor and cut them and trim them to your length. Like this one here, this is very long, so just trim it the way you want it. Or if you want to keep it all, just tuck it back in there to keep it out of the way. Real straightforward. Flip this over. Here's a look at the back side. This gentleman's initials are MM. My stamp is down here. Bob'sLeatherworks.com, made in the USA. Back of the holster is as finished as the front because it is lined. I don't put out unless you want a single piece of leather and you want rough out type look. And by the way, before I take it back, here's hopefully a better look at suede. I don't think you can still see the suede material, but there it is. It'll help grab onto your pants a lot better. This gentleman wanted 11 bullet loops on his rig for his personal reasons, and here are his initials again, right there, MM. Both these rigs are for him. Okay, even though he could have easily changed out holsters, he just wanted two gun belts, and that's it. Also, when you get your rig, I put a lot of polish on these things, so some of it cakes up, and eventually it will buff out, which is what I'm seeing right now, and I'm rolling off some of it, because the leather has grain, so you got millions of little pockets capturing undyed wax. So, buff it out. You can also run your, I hear it squeaking. You can run your blow dryer over it, warm it up a little bit, melt it, and then go back over it with a damp washcloth and buff it in. Okay. But there it is. Now this is very tight. Okay. You do not have hardly any space at all for your 2.5-inch gun belt to go through here. Let me turn this around again to give you a real good look. See? That belt is disappearing in there, and this holster is right on it. And if you want to slide it to get it to where you want to wear it, so you can see the bullets coming in, there you go, back and forth. Ordinarily, on an average man, from about here in the middle of a holster back out to your center loop on your belt will be about 11 to 12 inches. Okay. And that is it. And one more thing, my last comment. Okay. If you want me to make you a rig and you have a buckle that you want to put on it, and it is not like this one, you know, even if it's whatever, you know, a heel bar buckle, this is called a center bar buckle, or a trophy buckle, you know, you ran rodeo, or something you picked up somewhere that you really like, or a tradesman's buckle, like, you know, railroad engineer, something. Okay, send me that buckle, and I will make your rig with it so that the tip of the buckle where it locks in will be right there on the end, and this will be proportionately moved back and forth so that it comes up right. If you go and put a tradesman's buckle onto this, it will hang out here, and it will add about 2.5 inches to the length of your belt, and it'll make it too big. So there's a clue. Okay, here's the slide keeper, Ranger overlap style. There you go, gentlemen. 2 Mexican double loops. There's one of them right there. Okay, and the 4 3/4, and here is the 7-inch one. Both going to the same gentleman, and not 7, 5.5. Both going to the same man, and he's got real Colts. So they're going to look real nice in here when he gets his gun belts. Alright. Here is my camera remote. So, thanks for watching. Have a great day. You'll find the how to order information on the end title of